Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, viewers. I'm Matheus Haakuria, news editor of the Namibian Sun newspaper. Welcome to another exciting edition of the Evening Review Show. Well, tonight we're joined in the studio by the Public Service Union of Namibia's Secretary General, Mr. Matheus Haakuria. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's indeed a pleasure to have you here. Well, we know that since at least towards the end of last year, the union has been busy with the National Housing Enterprise, of course, as far as handling issues of pay rise requests from the employees who happen to be your members. And of course, the entity saying there is no money for that right now. Can you hang on a bit until things stabilize? But your members are adamant that their demands should be met. And we would delve into that a bit tonight, and just also to understand where the process is right now. Perhaps you can just give us a brief summary as to where that process is right now. What is the current status of the negotiations between NHE and the union, of course, on behalf of your members?
Yeah, to do justice to your question, where we are now, it's that tomorrow we will be meeting at the Office of the Labour Commissioner for further conciliation on the strike rules. That is basically the ground rules for engagement during the strike. If we agree, then obviously we will give the company 48-hour notice as to when the strike will start in terms of the time and the date. So this is where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did things get to this level?
Yeah, to give a bit of or to create a bit of context to the situation is that the negotiation started way back in 2021. Where the workers initially demanded a 7% salary increment. Yeah. It came to light that the financial position of the NHE is such that if you increase salaries, that there is no guarantee that the corporation will be able to carry those increases further into the future. Yeah. So this was rejected by the board, but then the board offered a $2,500 once of cash payment, which the workers rejected. With this understanding then, the teams agreed on a once-off payment of 60% of basic salary, which was then forwarded to the board, incorporated into the budget, and the board rejected this again. First of all, they asked the management to probably produce certain statistics as to whether this is doable, whether it is a train crash or not. Yeah. It was made clear that it's not a train crash. It was submitted to the board. The board rejected this request. The union then requested the board to engage so that we could be convinced to say, what is it that NHE will do differently so that come the same time around next year, we will not be in the same situation. What will they do differently? There were certain issues that were raised by the workers as to certain things that are going wrong or that are causing the current financial troubles at the institution. We needed to engage the board on this. Not just saying no, but come and tell us what are the measures that you are going to implement to ensure that the company turns around and start making money. The board refused flatly. On this refusal, they equally, number two, did not give a mandate to the NHE negotiating team to engage the union further or any other proposals, counter proposals, nothing was forthcoming. Resultantly, we followed the law and registered the matter at the Labour Commissioner. The NHE negotiating team again arrived at conciliation at the Labour Commissioner without a mandate, with no proposals as to what are they proposing, the alternative to what we are demanding. Therefore, a certificate of unresolved dispute was issued, resultantly following the law, of course. Towards, I think, beginning December, the first week, we engage again during the 30-day window period that is normally given before you go for the strike rules. And we look at various options to say, okay, if the board feels that this 60% once-off payment is not doable, there's a 15,000 cash once-off payment is not doable, what can we offer? And the workers, we revised our demand to $10,000 once-off payment to the workers. The board again refused. Flatly, they informed us at the beginning of this year when the 30-day window period was over. The board said no, and they are not engaging the union. The NHE negotiation team has no further mandate to engage us. The board does not want to meet us. And before I conclude on that, earlier also last year, we met with the minister.
The union or both parties?
No, the union. Honorable Utoni. So that we asked him to impress the importance of discussing matters with the union to the board. I don't know what happened. We haven't heard from the minister, and the board maintains its that despicable stance that they have of not wanting to engage with the union. So resultantly, the board will not meet the union. The NHE team doesn't have the money to talk further, so that's why we went further to the strike rules. Because what else are we supposed to do?
Yeah. So what's the board's excuse, if any? Why don't they want to meet your team?
What we have learned through the last letter that came from the CEO, first of all, they wanted some guarantees from the management to say if we pay this money, the organization will not crash, which was provided. Because remember, when we are submitting this proposal, is because the management is in agreement with us and they know it will not affect the company hugely. That was the first one. Then the second reason they gave is that they wanted the audited or so financial results of 2022. I think we also said this in the media before they can consider this. Then in the last response is simply there is no money, and if you go on strike, no work, no pay, and retrenchment. Yeah. So now I cannot answer that question. It's up to the board to come and tell us what is the answer, because they have given us these three different positions. What they stated in the letter on the financial position of the company, the economic outlook, and so on, the workers are in disagreement on their stated reasons, because they are saying, well, there are certain issues that we want you to attend to, then you will not experience those problems. There was a demonstration, mind you, where the workers made demands to the board, and the board went silent up to now. They ignored. Yeah. So if we are talking to you about the problems we have, you are ignoring us, and then you come with an answer, no, I don't have money, that's why I can't sit to your demand. Well, that is very arrogant. Yeah.
I remember not so long ago, I think a week or two back, in a story that we ran in our newspaper. We spoke to the board chairperson, Mr. Sam Shivute, and he was clear. His statement was that if the company is not making money and the company is not performing financially, is it justifiable to give an increment? Where is the resources coming from? Has the union thought of that?
One, comrade, Mr. Shivute should not negotiate with us through the media. The Namibian laws and even the ILO Convention on Collective Bargaining is clear as to how you conduct social dialogue. What is he fearing in meeting us so that he can show us that they are not making money? You know what he's afraid of? He is afraid of the question of, why are you not making money? He knows the reasons why they are not making money. Yeah. So he was asking the right questions, but then it was misplaced in the sense that Mr. Shivute was talking about a salary increment. Who demanded a salary increment? The workers demand a once-off payment. And we close the story and look at other issues maybe in future negotiations. Who told him that the workers want a salary increment? Where did he get that from? Does it mean that Mr. Shivute is not in charge of the organization? Or what does it mean? Let me add. Mr. Shivute is on record for saying that he has failed the NHE. So taking the responsibility that he's responsible for the current situation of the company. And then what he did was, his board, they reappointed the CEO. And then he took the blame that he's the one who failed. But he did not do the honorable thing of resigning since he failed. So the company essentially, or we are in this situation on the labor front in terms of collective bargaining because of him. And the company is in that situation where it is now because of him. So maybe those are the reasons why he is afraid to meet the workers. Because he knows the type of questions that will be posed to him that he might find very, very difficult to answer. And some of them might be unsavory too.
So if you say the demands are the ones of payment, and the company is saying there is no money essentially for that ones of payment also, what is the way forward then? Where should it come from? Is it the thing of pressing for blood from a stone?
There are two angles to that question. One, NHE has a board and a management. Throughout the negotiations, the message from those that are entrusted with the day-to-day running of the organization was, this is doable. So when the proposal is going to the board for the approval, it's because the management agrees with the demand of the union. They know it can be done. It's only of late where they say the management and the board in their last letter, now they have joined, they got married, are saying this. But all along, the management agreed that this can be done, it is doable. That was the message being sent to the workers. But we need to get the approval of the board.
Yeah.
So, secondly, now, the board saying no, the management saying something else, that only means one thing. If a company is unable to meet the demands of the workers, that is the very reason why collective bargaining was introduced. That is the relevance of social dialogue, the relevance of dialoguing. You come and sit around the table, you open your books, you show to the workers have their inputs. If you do not have money now, will you have money next year? Why don't you close that tap that is leaking there, and that tap there, and that tap there? Why don't you switch off that light that is wasting electricity at the company? The workers are working there. They know the ins and outs of the companies. They know what can be done to make the company profitable, to ensure that if the company is profitable, it's obviously they will benefit. So, but the board is not creating that opportunity where they can dialogue with the workers and their representatives and convince the workers that there is no money, this is what we are doing to save the company. Then they can act. Why don't you do A, B, C, D? It will help us. But if you just say there is no money and you close the door, and I know what is happening inside the organization, do you seriously expect me to believe what you are saying? So the NHE board has a warped understanding of collective bargaining and social dialogue, to say the least. They have no clue of how to dialogue with the people and how to convince the workers. Many a times, not to talk too much, there are companies that really cannot afford to increase salaries or to make a once-off payment. But because they are dialoguing with the workers, they manage to convince the workers to accept their position. Why? Because they are dialoguing. NHE board is, we don't have money, case closed. If you go on strike, we will retrench. No work, no pay. What is that?
So then don't you fear for the job security of your members? Should the strike go ahead with all the, I mean, the NHE has now already put the conditions on the table, no work, no pay or retrenchment.
You see, when the NHE management and the board talks about retrenchment, they forget about the law. That when you are restructuring or retrenching workers, it's not an exercise that is solely in the hands of the board to decide, you will go, you will go, you will stay. No, the union will be part and parcel of this process to defend the interests of its members. Are we concerned about our members being retrenched? Of course we are concerned, because one of the reasons why we exist is to ensure job security. But what are we saying? We are busy creating a culture where workers have to engage, and they are not engaged meaningfully, and they are simply told, there is no money, go back to work. Next year you come again, there is no money, go back to work. Our intention is to stop that despicable culture that the NHE board is busy propagating or propounding. That is the wrong approach. If they do not have money, they should remember that they are talking to the workers. These workers are the ones sitting in the finance department, in whatever department, at the cashiers, wherever, collecting the money, participating in the audits and so on. This is a company that has not been audited since 2016. And these audits are only being done now. I think now they are at 2019, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll have to interrupt you, Mr. Haakuria. We'll just go for a short break. And when we're back, I'll allow you to continue with your thoughts. Well, to our viewers, we wait for a short break and we'll be back to continue this conversation.
Straight Talk is a debate competition for high school learners and a spelling competition for primary school learners, mostly focusing on current affairs among the youth. Contact Zone at synergy.com.na to share your products and services. Straight Talk. Don't raise your voice, improve your argument.
Sport Wrap is a daily show focusing on all sport news and current affairs. If you would like to feature your brand or campaign on this platform, contact sportwrap@synergy.com.na.
Well, welcome back from the short break. Well, Mr. Haakuria, just before we went to the break, you touched on the topic of the financials of the company that are all up to date as far as the books are concerned. Perhaps we'll just continue with what you were saying at the time.
Yeah. What I was illustrating was the issue of social capital. You have a company that is not being properly audited for the last 5, 6, or 7 years. But the process has started, we are informed. Maybe they're 2019 or 2020 now. The board that is currently saying there is no money, the board that is refusing to engage the workers, the board that is threatening to retrench the workers and not pay them when they are on strike, this board presided over this company not producing financial results. How did they keep track of this all this time? They ensured that whoever was in charge of this institution in this situation is reappointed.
Yeah.
Okay. They admitted that they have failed. And when the workers want to engage, they are saying, no, we will not engage. And they are threatening them with retrenchment. And they are saying there is no money. Does Mr. Shivute, considering the history of this company, honestly believe that the workers will take him seriously and believe him? Does Mr. Shivute and his board think that under the current circumstances, the problems that were there at that company, managers being suspended over certain allegations and so on, and then being brought back and stuff like that, does he think that when you threaten people with retrenchment, this will scare the workers from the strike, and therefore he will succeed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you mentioned this worrisome period you indicated since 2016 where no financials were done and so on. What are your members telling you from inside? What are the real issues that are really hampering the company from positively performing? What are the issues and what should be done as a remedial action?
Thank you for the question. When you sit down with the workers in a meeting at the NHE at the auditorium, what comes to mind is, in summary, the question of the moral hazard, where a certain structure takes a decision, but the third party is the one that suffers. And this is what happened at Namibia. This is a problem at NHE and some other parastatals. There is a problem of lack of accountability. Starting from the minister responsible, the Ministry of Public Enterprises, whatever, that one that was now done and away with, maybe the shareholder minister and parliament, accountability. Why am I saying this? Would it be possible that a company will go for 5 years without being audited and yet nothing is done?
Well, Namibia went for 10 years without an audit.
Yeah, without being audited. Okay, that's one. Two, NHE, in terms of their strategic plan, is supposed to build 1,250 houses per year. That is what they were supposed to build.
Yeah.
After 5 years, they have built 600 and something. What was done to whoever was responsible for building these houses? Yeah. This is a financial institution, a housing construction or whatever company. Namibia has a housing backlog. You have a parastatal responsible for building houses, building 600 houses over a period of 5 years. And then the board is doing nothing to attend to this. I would say nothing, because the first year, how many did you build? Maybe you built 30 or 20, I'm not sure. What was done in terms of accountability? That financial ends, the period is over. Targets are not met, financial report is not provided. What did the shareholder minister do? What has he done? Him who must table these reports in parliament.
Yeah.
So there is a problem of accountability at the NHE. And there is a problem of the moral hazards when people are taking decisions that are negatively affecting third parties. So for me, these are the central issues. Whatever it is that is happening inside the NHE is because there is no accountability. You know you can do what you want. Nothing will be done to you. You will be reappointed. The board will remain there. Nobody will touch them.
Yeah. You seem to be absolving your members from everything that's going on at the NHE. Where do they come in as far as taking blame for the mess is concerned?
I will continue to absolve my members from this, what happened at the NHE, because the workers at the NHE tried their level best to engage, offered assistance.
In which sense?
To even in terms of the one meeting that we had where they said we are willing to help with debt collection. But if you work in an environment where you know these issues of organization, climate and culture, where the climate is such that people are demoralized, do you blame a demoralized employee for not contributing sufficiently to the operations of the company? Yes. The management feels that the workers are not really cooperative. They are not assisting. But the workers are demoralized by the management style, by the way how things are done, by the behavior of the board. This demoralizes my members. If I tell you now, I even shared this with the management. If they are listening, they will know I'm talking the truth. When we came to the NHE, the very first meeting, when we took over as PSU in that meeting, in the auditorium, it was quiet. People, employees were afraid to say, what are your problems at this institution? What are the labor concerns as a new union that must be gone? People were afraid to talk. Because this one might report you, if that one here that you said this, you will be in trouble. What does that sketch to you? An atmosphere of intimidation and victimization. Do you expect people who work in such an environment to be productive? And the question is, everything falls and rises on leadership. Who created that environment? When these workers were under Mr. Hailulu, they were happy and doing what they're supposed to do, I am told. So what changed that created this situation?
Yeah.
We even asked, the first demonstration that we wanted to have, where we wanted to hand the petition, we tried it maybe 1 or 2 or 3 times. The employees were afraid to participate in a demonstration, which is a democratic right.
Yeah.
Why were they afraid? Let the NHE board and management answer.
So, as a union, do you think you also have a responsibility to just bridge that gap between management and the employees who are your members?
Yes, we are doing. It's our responsibility, and things in terms of the organization climate have changed, but they still have this big deal of demoralization is still there, because the benefit that the employees feel accrues to them. The board kept on saying no, and the board does not want to engage them. That is having a huge effect on the morale of the workers. Yeah, but in terms of now, workers opening up in meetings when we go there now, they have started to open up.
Yeah.
When we are sitting around the table with the management on that side, they are opening up now, they are talking. So we are breaching that gap to build social capital that is seriously needed there.
Yeah. I'm asking this because there is a general feeling that unions in general don't do much as far as looking for solutions when there is a rift between management and the lower tier employees. What do you say to that?
Yeah, unions are having the role of promoting the interest of your members and guaranteeing job security, but also it is to be understood that it is only when a company is a going concern that you have the job security. It's only when your member is productive that the company can make a profit, and then you have job security. So unions have that responsibility of bridging the gap. That is why in our unions we do regular training on, for example, negotiations, conflict resolution, advanced negotiation skills. Sometimes we do this in conjunction with the Intelligence Transfer Center from South Africa. They normally have courses at the Window Country Club. We take our shop, see what's there. To be equipped with the necessary skills, how to handle conflicts at the workplace, how to be productive, and all these things we are doing. But that is dependent on the threat level perception of the management of that company. How receptive the management of that company is to inputs and suggestions from the union. It is...
How receptive is the management of the NHE from 1 to 10, 10 being not receptive at all?
And 1 being very receptive.
Yes.
I would say now they are at 9.
Is it because of the current conflict?
No. They are not receptive. It's just that our time is limited. But a lot of proposals that the workers propose, things to be done, has been ignored. But there was a few things, like, for example, the management used to have their retreats at local hotels where they have a nice boardroom, and they are saying they don't have money. But when you have a management meeting, you go to a hotel to have it. The CEO needs the attention of all his people to listen carefully, maybe in a conducive environment. But why would you take a management meeting to a hotel instead of just having it at work? But that one, we agree that it must be done away with.
Okay.
Yes. There was an issue of where the workers said, no, fine, we understand financial problems, acting allowance, if you are acting, 50% payment, not 100%. The management went around, management 100%, workers, employees, 50%. They complained and it was changed, everybody is 100%. Okay. So those are some of the few things that they are doing. Okay. That's why I'm giving them really a 9. They move one step on the ladder.
Well, Mr. Haakuria, thank you very much for your time this evening. And we wish you well in your work going forward.
Thank you.
Hopefully you guys will find common grounds.
Let's hope so. We opened our doors to the board and the management say the union is open anytime. Even now if they call us in and say this evening, come, we want to meet you. We are ready.
Thank you very much. Okay. Well, to our viewers, that's it from the Evening Review team. Thank you for staying tuned and see you tomorrow again. Same time, same place. Have a pleasant evening.